All right, well, it is close enough to 11 o'clock for me, so I think we will get this started. Good morning. Welcome to the Dallas Genealogical Society. My name is Tony Hansen, and I am the president of the society. It's wonderful to see you all here. Just kind of while we're getting rolling, I tried something last month, and it worked pretty well, so I just want to let you know that I'm actually recording audio from this meeting, and we will make it available on the website following the meeting, synced in with the PowerPoint presentations for the benefit of anybody who's not able to be here. So you're on the record. Just be careful what you say. Big Brother is listening. Those that parked in the garage down here can have your ticket validated at the front desk and get out of here for only $1.50, so don't pay more than you need to. Gloria has assured us that we have a quorum. I believe we have about 33 members and several guests here, so Gloria, is that correct? Outstanding, thank you. So we have a quorum and we can conduct some business because that's what we're going to be doing today. So again, thank you all for making the effort to be here, especially with all of the hassles of getting into the garage this morning with all the construction. So I know you're a hardy bunch of people because you made it in, so thank you. We are continuing our Bring a Visitor campaign. What we are doing is a campaign where if you bring a visitor and sign them in, you will be eligible for a drawing next month at the May meeting for a seat at the summer seminar with Denise Lovenick. So those of you that have been bringing guests, thank you very much. The guests that are here, welcome. We're really, really happy to have you here and hope you keep coming back. The previous meeting minutes are posted on the door, have been distributed, and so unless there are any, and one additional I'll make in there, we did not note the attendance last month, which I believe was 33 members and 4 guests. So with that amendment, unless there are any further changes, we'll just accept those meetings as posted.
So moved.
I don't think we'll need a motion on that,
okay.
but thank you. Say that, we're going to need that in a few minutes.
I believe what you say.
Okay. Kathleen Murray, would you like to talk to us about past seminar successes and stuff we have coming up?
That was terrible. I apologize for that. It was a mad rush getting here. I had so many last minute things that took 4 times longer than they should have. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. And we had, just speaking for the spring seminar with Paul Milner, it was a successful event for us. We exceeded our objectives in terms of revenues and expenses, I might say, but the net income was around $4,400. So we're very pleased about that. That helps fund the months when we don't bring in revenue and we don't have events going on. So by this time of the year, we're hoping that we're sort of breaking even and paying our own way, which is great. I think we are doing that. We had 130 registrants for that event, so that's really good for us, and we do 3 a year. So, and our next one coming up is Denise Lovenick. Denise is called the Family Curator. She'll be here for 2 days. I believe it's right there, Friday and Saturday, the 29th and 30th. We're doing the fee structure a bit differently this time. For one fee for both days, lunch will be included, as will parking in the Dallas Public Library garage. So we'll sort of streamline the whole effort. And I wanted to let you know that we're online live for registration. Early registration is going now. I don't suppose we can get to the website very easily.
Okay.
So what Denise is doing what she calls an heirloom roadshow, and on the website we have a web page for where you can register as you did last time, but what we also have there is you'll see it I think momentarily, the ability for you to submit your own heirlooms. So if you go to the website, I'll just take a moment here if I do it correctly, and you go to events and we have seminars. Her event, it's a jumpy mouse, surely it's not me. Preserving and sharing our family treasures. And there's Denise. And if you would like to, you can register some for the Heirloom Roadshow keepsake. And what's going to happen here is you click on it. You can do this from your any of your iDevices as well. And it's going to say, okay, tell us your name, your email, your phone, and describe your keepsake. You know, I have a samurai sword that was in the family for the last 200 years. Blah, blah. I have no idea what I should do to, first of all, pass this on so it goes to who I want. And secondly, what kind of environment ought it to be in? I don't even know what it's made of. So you describe your challenges, what it is you have, and then you can select here, and it will upload a picture your heirloom. So take a picture of it, for example, and then you can just however you take pictures and get them into whatever your computing environment is, and then you can upload the picture by clicking it here and submit. I don't know if it'll take this if anything's required, but I would pick out a picture. I don't want to just do that, and then you just hit submit, and it will tell you that it was submitted. And that's what you see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to Todd DeDecker for bringing this online so that I could show that to you, our webmaster. So that's that. So now I should get back to the slideshow. I should be able to do this, but I just don't know where you're at. Are you down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, did I hear a question? No. Oh, there's you. Yes.
Open it at submit that thing, and what's going to happen with it?
Oh, nothing. No. I'm calming down now. Humor's coming back. Denise is going to get these. She'll get your information, your question, your picture, and if she needs more information, she'll contact you and chat with you about it. And if you're registered for the seminar, you might be eligible. She'll get in contact with you. And then what will happen is you'll show up at the seminar. I think we're going to do this on day 2. If it's wildly successful, we left a little flexibility in the schedule so that we could have maybe someone Friday afternoon to keep everybody alive in the late afternoon, and then some on Saturday as well. But anyway, as it stands, so we say, okay, here's Shirley Sloat. She submitted, a baby quilt from a great grandmother, and so we're going to have a picture of it up on the screen. Shirley's going to be able to bring it if she feels that it's not too fragile, and show it, and she'll stand up here and say, this is who I am, this is what my heirloom is, this is the provenance, where it came from, how it came into my hands, and this is my question about it. I'm really not sure how to keep this in the best possible preserved state. And then she'll turn it over to Denise, who will say, this is what you do with, 150-year-old quilts. So that's the deal. So it doesn't matter if it's a sword or a quilt or a bunch of old negatives that you have no idea about. Submit it, register, and I think we'll have a good time with this. Okay? All right, so the next thing is Kurt Witcher. Kurt Witcher I always get his title incorrect. I should memorize it. He's director of the Genealogical Division of the Allen County Public Library, the second largest genealogical library in this country, and a very wonderful speaker, extremely engaging. We all learn from Kurt, no matter how many times we listen to him. He's just one of those kind of people. So he's coming on September 17th. The web page for registering is not live yet because we have not yet set the fee for that. And I think that's all I have. So thank you for coming, and I hope to see you in the summer.
Thank you very much.
Well, we actually just want to... I don't know if anybody chatted about the North Texas Irish Festival. Myself and Susan and Jean were there live last month. Sort of, we have no idea what we look like. But anyway, huh? Yeah, good. That's kind of neutral. But we ended up getting traffic for the 3 days on a consistent basis, and lots of feedback. Lots of people very interested in, what we did. What mostly, of course, more interested in what they did and where they were with their problems and with their study. Well, we got 78 people to join our mailing list who are not current members. So that's, I think. We have to see down the road what kind of dividends that pays. But what we also got that was really interesting is I did a sort of an analysis of the comments and then vetted it with a few other people who were there. What is it that your person in the street, so to speak, walking, doing their genealogy, what kind of problems are they encountering? And what we hope is that we can use that to inform maybe a little bit of a different slant and a different kind of program that we might present going forward. That's it. I quit.
Thank you. We're not going to let the NTIF off the hook just yet either, because part of what we had was the registration for the email was a registration to win a free year's subscription to I always get this
Find
wrong.
My Past.
Find My Past. That was something that was donated to us for that purpose. And we did select the winner and notify her, and her response was just really thrilling. She was thrilled to get it, really interested in family history, and really grateful for the prize. It really was meaningful to her. I mean, she wrote us a very nice response back to it, and very grateful to the DGS. So I mean, it's the kind of thing, I don't know where this dividend is going to roll in the future, but I think we made a lot of really good contacts and just kind of got the name of the Dallas Genealogical Society out in the public and let people know we're here. So, but anyway, that was just kind of a nice little cap to a hard-working but fun weekend, I think. So thanks to all that helped staff the booth to make that happen. Susan.
Okay, so checking account, we have $28,114.83. Savings account, we have $121,773.83. How likely is that? Both accounts of 83 cents. Our expenses in February were just over $2,800. About $400 of that was for typical operating expenses. The rest was the spring seminar. The income was just over $3,800, so we actually have a surplus, about half from membership and half from the seminar, and that's it.
Okay, so one of the items of business that we need to transact today, hopefully, is to make some modifications to the bylaws that we talked about last month and have published in a variety of ways. So again, just real briefly, we're looking at changing two things. We would like to modify how we establish a quorum, the number of people necessary to do a vote like we're about to have here, and also to modify the methodology with which we hold the election of officers at our annual meeting, to basically add the discretion of allowing us to do electronic balloting in one of two circumstances. Either if the board, prior to the meeting says that's the way we want to go, or if, hopefully this won't happen, but if, like it did happen last year, we show up and don't have a quorum here because there's construction, you can't get in or whatever, that would automatically kick us into electronic balloting so we can go ahead and get the election held and get the business of the society to move forward. So we talked about this last month. One of the questions that had come up was, somebody asked me, because in the electronic balloting, we don't have any provision for reaching out to somebody who does not have an email address. Electronic, by its nature, has to go out to an email address, and if you don't have an email address, you're not going to get a ballot. And somebody had asked me the question of how many people do we have that don't actually have an email address, and I did actually look that up.
51.
Someplace else. Thank you. 51?
Less than 13%.
Yeah, it's about 13% of people, of the 400 and some odd members that we have that don't have an email address. The number is how many again? 51?
51.
Okay. So those people would essentially kind of miss out on the electronic balloting. But again, as I mentioned last month, I'll point out that typically, I think last year when we actually held the election, we had 43 people here who voted. So 43 out of 400 made the determination. So electronic balloting, even though we're going to miss those people that don't have email addresses, we're actually going to be reaching 350 others that do. So in that sense, the electronic balloting is going to involve more people if we ever go that route. Is there any other questions or discussions about the changes, why we're doing it, or how we're doing it? Yes, sure.
Would this or could this be effective for our next May meeting?
Yes, if this is approved today, then it will be in effect right now.
Because I noticed that the May meeting is on the 7th and the NGS meeting includes being on the 7th, which means anybody going to the big national meeting won't be here, so the rest of us need to be here.
Yeah. So, one of the things, now, so the quorum proposal, we're going to establish it as just 5% of the membership. And by today's membership level, that would equate to, we need to have 21 people here, which is less than the 30 that the current quorum has. So now as our membership fluctuates, that number will change. And one of the good pieces of news I want to share with this too is our membership is actually ticking up. We've had a couple of months where we have had an increase in members from month to month. So that number can rise as well as fall. But it will just kind of, with this, we won't have to keep constantly change the bylaws because we need to change the quorum. Any other discussion, questions, comments? Yes?
Tony, that number for those who do not have emails may be lower because we typically do not put an email address in for the associate member. To
Okay.
keep the emails clean, unless the associate member has sometimes the associate member has
Okay, well, that's even better news. And it's just again, kind of for the benefit of the recording, and the rest of you, Barbara was saying that the associate members, we don't normally record an email address, so that the number of people without the email address is actually likely to be even lower. And knowing this too, we'll start a campaign to try to encourage everybody of the importance of giving us an email address if we ever kick into this kind of thing. Okay, thank you for that. All right, with that then, I guess if there's no further discussion, I would ask for a motion to accept the proposed modifications to the bylaws as published and discussed.
I so moved.
Okay, Jean Larson moves. May I have a second?
Okay, thank you.
And may I have a second for that?
Second.
Kristen Moore, okay. And with that, just may all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, thank you for being here and thank you for your support on that. So one of the provisions of this, we adjust the number annually with the installation of new officers and by option at the discretion of the board. So at this afternoon's board meeting, we will kick this into effect and modify the quorum number from the existing 30 down to 21, and that will be effect for next May. And if we don't have 21 people, then the electronic balloting will automatically kick in too. All right, thank you again very much for that. I do appreciate that very much. Nominations. Speaking of elections, we actually need to elect a new board again. So, Gloria Goodwin, would you like to come down here and talk to us about that?
The nominating committee for this year consisted of myself and Kathleen Murray on the board, and then Susan Younger, Jean Larson, and Sharon Bowles as members at large. We talked to a lot of people, encouraged a lot of people, and came up with what I think is a good slate of officers for the coming year. Nope. Not good with your PC.
Well, let's try it.
Sorry.
That
There
way.
you go.
Yay.
So for President, Tony Hansen, Vice President, Kristen Moore, Secretary Sharon Bowles, and Treasurer Susan Rainwater. And I hope you consider these, but we consider the floor open for any other nominations. Or volunteers. We always take volunteers. So this election will be in May. And this is the slate that we have presented. And again, if there are any further nominations, you can contact me at membership@DallasGenealogical.org, and we will add those to the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. So most of you know Susan and I, but I'd like to, again, Kristen Moore is right here in the back, and Sharon Bowles is also right here. So have an opportunity. We will hold nominations open through the May meeting. We'll close them and have the election then. So anybody wants to get in the action, let us know. Okay, some other things that the board's done. We, as I mentioned, we had a couple of very old laptop PCs we have since replaced. We have donated that equipment to Goodwill, and hopefully they will put that to good use. Another action the board took last month was to authorize the expenditure of up to $500 for the creation of a video documenting, I guess, the life and times of our own Lloyd box truck. And so as anybody that's been involved in the society any length of time know what a treasure Lloyd has been to not just the Dallas Society, but to genealogy as a whole. And what several people, this is being led by Sandra Crowley, is going to do is to sit down with Lloyd and try to capture on video several conversations with him to kind of preserve and capture some of his gems of wisdom and wit. And so we'll have that as kind of an enduring legacy of Lloyd. We also, I think I mentioned in the past, that we're preparing to, in the last month, actually sent out a lapsed member letter. This was a letter that we sent through the regular U.S. mail to people who have not renewed their memberships. And I think we went back for about 4 or 5 years, just basically saying, please reconsider. We miss you, and hope that you'll consider renewing your membership and being an active part of the society again. And the response has been fairly good. It's a little hard to tell from the electronic online registrations what caused it, but I think that's part of what is responsible for this month's increase in membership. Carolyn, yes, you have a point?
Do you remember how many letters were sent?
No.
About 216.
215?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there,
Okay.
just over 200, I have the bills in there.
Okay, good. And I know that I did see that about 8 that came in through the mail where they returned the form with the check. So I know that we had at least 8 people that did respond and renew just by sending us a check. And through some email, because I did send a letter out with the wrong zip code. And so I followed up on that. So I had several people come back to me through email and say that they were renewing as well. So I can count for at least 10 people that have come back, and hopefully that will continue to be a trend as well. So just one of the things we're trying to do to get more of you to be more of us, and to continue to grow the society. Yes, Shirley.
I'm not sure I want to put this on tape, but suppose we get 100 new people. Suppose we even get 50 new people to come back that used to be members. The quorum number is going to go up. So we need to do something about anyone who's a new member, maybe pairing them up with some of us to encourage them to come to the meetings.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's our job too, is to make the meetings interesting enough that you want to come. So that's on us as well, but that's an excellent point.
Okay.
Yes,
It was sent to 244.
244 people. Okay, thank you.
244.
244, yeah. And Susan Younger, are you here? Here you are.
Thank you. Okay, we were contacted by Billion Graves as a pilot project for a program they're trying to put together to help societies organize a photo shoot of a particular cemetery in a prescribed amount of time. So what they're trying to do is understand what it'll take to encourage individuals and societies to go out and in, say, 1 day's time, photograph an entire cemetery, upload it to Billion Graves, and then later go in and provide volunteer activity to help index and transcribe the photographs that were uploaded. So Dallas Genealogical Society is a pilot project on that, and so we were very pleased that they reached out to us for that. And so on April 23rd, Saturday, we are going to meet at the Pleasant Mound Cemetery out on Buckner Boulevard in Far East Dallas. That's almost to the Mesquite border. It's a cemetery we think of maybe about 3,000 burials. We're not sure yet. We're still working with the cemetery group. They actually have paper records. They are delighted. When I walked in and introduced myself, she was just thrilled that DGS had reached out to help them try to put all of their records online. And then this will allow the entire cemetery to be online for anyone anywhere in the world. So we have set up, Tony has set up a Get Involved page for the Pleasant Mound Cemetery project. It is in the DGS website.
Got some slides if you just want to step up and show them.
Okay, just go on down.
Oops, I guess I don't.
Nope. Okay. All right. Anyway, on the Get Involved tab of the Dallas Genealogical.
2 slides, step past them. I don't remember if it was on there, but okay.
Okay. All right. Pleasant Mound Cemetery Photography Day. View and sign up. Do we have one more? Okay. All right. We need people with smartphones because it does require a smartphone to take a photograph and then upload it to the Billion Graves website. But we also need folks to help the photographer. Sometimes there may be flowers or something at the tombstone that need to be laid down temporarily and then put back up. We may need someone to hold a light on the stone so that it makes the lettering more clear. So we need about 15 volunteers with smartphones and about 10 to be assistants to the photographers. We will do training that day. It will be 1 day. We think that we can get all of these stones done in about half a day if we have 15 volunteers. The cemetery is in excellent condition, and they will certainly have it mowed. The caretaker at the cemetery is really on board with this,
And even though he keeps the cemetery in good condition, he'll certainly make sure it's been mowed for the 23rd, which makes a big difference. We still will be putting out instructions on how to prepare to come to the cemetery. On the 23rd, it may be a little warm, but we want you to be comfortable. We will have coffee and snacks there, water for you during the morning. And perhaps if we get through by noon, the Being Graves people are talking about maybe a pizza or something for a quick lunch. Anyway, I encourage you to do this. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. It'll also teach you how to use Billion Graves, and then on your own how to upload photographs of stones when you're in a cemetery that hasn't already been photographed. So if you've got any questions, you can reach me at Technology SIG. I'm the SIG leader for the Technology SIG group. And is mine? Okay. So click there at the very bottom. I think that goes to my email. All right. So you can reach me there. Again, we're going to give training so that you're not going to be on your own. Is there any questions? Yes.
Are you going to do the practice run on the Jewish cemetery the day before?
We are. Right now, a small group of us will meet with the Billion Graves staff. I think there are 3 or 4 of them are coming in from Utah. And there is a Jewish cemetery that is contiguous to the Pleasant Mound, and we're going to work on that one. We're still working on getting permission for that cemetery. So we certainly want to do that and be respectful of both cemeteries. And there's also Pleasant Mound Historic Cemetery, which is run by the city, is across the street on Syene Street. So if we have some extra time on Saturday after doing the Pleasant Mound Private Cemetery, some of us may go across the street, and I think there's 200 or 300 stones, which should go pretty quickly at the public Pleasant Mound. So there's a good chance we'll have 3 cemeteries done within 2 days.
Along those lines, I think there are some members of our Jewish state that would probably like to participate.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
With the Jewish mapping project.
Wonderful. For that Friday? Okay, even though all right. Well, then see me. We would expect to do a smaller group there, but we certainly would be glad to have any participation. Yes, Carolyn.
For those of us who are out of town that weekend, I wish I could change my plans because it sounds great. But what opportunities afterwards? Is there, you said something about transcribing?
That's right. The photographs will need to be uploaded to the Billion Graves site. They do some processing, and then this cemetery will be available for transcription and basically an indexing process. And so that you can do at home and on your own time. You do not have to come down here. Again, we can provide some training on that and how to do it. There are certainly all sorts of videos at the Billion Graves site if you want to go out and take a look at that and get an idea of what it is. But yes, we will need some indexers and transcribers as a follow-up, and I'm not real sure how much time it'll pass before it gets processed. Barbara, do you know how long it takes them to process photographs once they've been uploaded? Barbara's done a lot of Billion Graves.
It's usually pretty quick, and often what happens is they spend maybe a week for the photographer has access to it to do the transcribing, and then after that they're open to anybody.
Okay.
So
all right.
They may have something entirely different in mind.
Okay. We've got another meeting with them April 12th, so we're getting more details as we go along.
And Susan, Linda just asked a question, why couldn't a regular digital camera work?
Okay, so that would be a question. I know that they've wanted a smartphone because they're expecting to upload at the cemetery, but we'll try to find out.
Well, I can tell you,
Oh.
the smartphone geotags it.
Smartphone geotags.
Yes, location. And so if you ever go to Billion Graves' website, you'll see that that particular stone is marked within, it's not perfect, but within the distance of where that stone actually is in the cemetery.
Yeah, that's the difference with billion graves.
And there's an app that
Geotagging.
you put on your smartphone.
And there is an app, yes, there's an app, which all of those instructions will be putting out to people. Oh, it's here, okay. All right. I saw another question?
I was
Yes.
saying, a lot of the newer digital cameras have Wi-Fi capability and would be able to function the same as a smartphone.
Well, I'll ask that question in our April 12th meeting if a camera with geotagging capabilities could be used. But that is the difference between Find a Grave and Billion Graves pretty much, is that it allows you to go back to that location within a few feet. Yes, Shirley?
This is a really well-done planned project. I'm so proud of you guys.
Well, I tell you, it's taking a team to do this.
Would it complicate too much if you tried to get a Dallas Morning News person out to cover it on that day when all these people are swarming around like ants? It'd be great.
Well, we might be able to do that. Part of that is, we'll see if Billion Graves and Find My Past.
Yeah,
Billion
yeah.
Graves is part of Find My Past. And I think we've actually talked to folks from Find My Past on our phone conversation. So they're very interested in how we organize this and how will we do. Question?
Could you explain the sentence just above the line that has your name?
Okay, you should so not be uploaded. We'll get that fixed. Thank you very much. You can upload it there at the cemetery, or you can upload them at home. And so, depending on whether you want your phone plan and all, whether you want to do it at the cemetery. So we'll have both options.
Susan, I often will save them and upload them when I get home, because then I can use Wi-Fi to upload them, put them in my minutes.
Yeah, and we can show you. We'll tell you how to do that, to save them on your phone, and then when you get back home and you have your own Wi-Fi, you can upload it. Barbara's done something like over 2,000 pictures to Billion Graves, so she's got a little bit of experience here. Any other questions? And I'm going to get out and finish here. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, that was what I meant to say, but that wasn't what I typed. Okay, well, we'll go back. We're really fortunate that we have the level of expertise in our society. When Billion Graves came to us, I knew immediately who to turn the call over to. And Barbara and Susan have, as you can tell, a lot of experience dealing with cemeteries and taking pictures and doing stuff. So we're fortunate to have their past involvement and grateful for their leadership on this. So sign up, come on out and have some fun with us. I think it's going to be an interesting day. Speaking of volunteers, we've got the probate record information still going on, and we're making good progress on that. We're at 7.5% done. So we're making steady progress, and Karen Walter, again, by one set of records, beat out John Withers for the top indexer for the month of March, and maintains her overall. But Heidi Enright, if you're here, thank you. And Susan Rainwater pitched in and did a few this month as well. So again, this is a fairly simple thing to do. You can sign up on the website at the same place. That's why I put it afterwards. You can go to Get Involved, click on the Dallas County Probate Date Range Research, pick a case, go through it, provide the information, and kind of help move this project along. It's a long project, so you're going to be hearing about this a lot. The sooner you get in and get it done, the sooner I'll put it back and go back. So thanks to all who have worked on this so far. And we've already seen all that. Okay, so we've got some SIGs, as you all know. We've got some upcoming SIG meetings, and I just would encourage you to consider sitting in on any of these, because they're all equally fascinating in their own way. So just, if you got the time and you got the interest, please join in and help make those an active and vibrant part of our society, or even more so than they already are. Invite you all back here to the same place next month for our May 7th meeting, where we're going to hold the election of officers, and we're going to have our celebration of our 60th anniversary. Along that way, the couple of things that we want to have as kind of an enduring legacy of this celebration, and one of the things that I have done is I have made all of the newsletters and all of the quarterlies from 1955 all the way through 1994 available on the website. So if you go in our newsletters and our quarterly sections, now the images are not great, so hold the applause. Some of these are from films that Pat and Jim Stone did for many years as they were part of the sales, because they actually were selling images of these. So they took a bunch of pictures of a bunch of microfilm, which doesn't give us the best quality image, but it's a lot better than nothing. Some of the other ones I went up and took using our new scanner, but because of the way that the documents are bound in the only image we have in the Dallas Public Library, again, those are a little bit skewed, but you can read them. And so, I just encourage you to go back and kind of take a look at what happened in the early years of the society, because it's quite fascinating. Carmen, do you have a comment or question?
Just a question, on the website, which tab across the top would we find this?
They're either in newsletters or in quarterlies. And because the
What?
quarterlies.
What's the tab across the top?
Publications, I'm sorry.
Publications,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Because for about the first 12 or 13 years, they kind of evolved into printing them, here's a surprise, quarterly. But then it wasn't until about part of June where they actually called it the quarterly. So as I was doing it, I chose to do this. I took the first 12 years or so and put them as newsletters because that's really what they were. And then in the early 60s, it actually became the quarterly. That's what it was labeled as, and it evolved into that 4-time-a-year publication that we had through about 1994, I believe. But anyway, they're split across a couple places. Again, fascinating reading. It's just kind of really interesting to look back and see some of the great things we've done. But we're going to talk about that a lot more next month. That's what that meeting is all about. So please join us if you can. And also, I would encourage you to provide some feedback on this meeting. Todd Niedecker, after every meeting, generally puts up an opportunity to go there, go to our website, click on the little tell us thing, and give us some feedback about this. So, too dull, too fast, not enough light, whatever, click on that, tell us about it, because we really would love to hear from you. And that brings us to today's presentation. So, we're going to be benefiting from Ari Wilkins from the Dallas Public Library, talking to us about antebellum Southern plantation records. So, you probably know Ari already, but you're going to have to listen to this anyway. She's a library associate in the genealogy division of the Dallas Public Library. She's been at the library now for over 9 years and is an experienced genealogist. She's active with the Texas State Genealogical Society and is the chair for the upcoming annual conference that's going to be held here in Dallas in November. She's lectured at the American Library Association, the Federation of Genealogical Societies, and the Sanford Institute of Genealogical and Historical Research. So without further ado, I give you Ari.